I'm marrying this guy, and they're like, what does he do? No, he's an animator. And my mom is like, Ini?
When's my papa?
Didn't even know. Good.
On the street.
Right now, I'm in my Denzel best self.
I see it.
Because you see, sometimes these interviews, okay, she thinks she's here to be interviewed. And I'm the one auditioning.
Oh my God.
She has access, I guess.
Yeah.
The next stage could be Hollywood. You never know.
Okay.
Hello, Nosi.
Okay. Hi, Tipos. How are you doing?
I am good. How are you?
Good. I see the Denzel in you.
You see it now?
I'm seeing it. Clocking it.
Right?
Yeah.
Watch this space.
Training Day. I'm trying to remember all his films, but yeah.
He's got a new one out now.
I saw that.
Highest to lowest.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah,
That's
and with Spike Lee again.
Okay.
Which is great.
Yeah.
But anyway.
One of the best directors in the world, Spike Lee.
Have you worked
Do
with
the
him?
right thing. I wish I could, actually. I wish I could. I think he's very revolutionary.
He is.
Yeah.
Now, Nosi,
Yebo. T-Boz.
let's get this thing out of the way.
Oh my God.
By the way, Nosipho's full name is Nosipho Maketo. Wait, I lang.
Oh my God.
Van Den Bragt.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the land?
Ish.
We sent you to go get the land. When you come back with a FX studio.
But that's part of the land, isn't it? I came back with the land. I came back with the VFX studio. I came back with the man and the kids. That's a lot.
Operation Tekankwash.
Yonke. Kata yonkinto. So I brought everything. So never mind just the land. Yonkinto.
Happy Women's Month.
Thank you so much.
We celebrate women like you who go and get.
Go get us.
Go get us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I'd actually forgotten it was Women's Month.
Yeah.
And yeah, only because for us, I think it must be Women's Month every day. You know, there are a lot of, Sikalile.
You also need an Iwa for your...
Yeah. Why not? Let me tell you, women are doing things out there. Women are doing things, and I feel like it can't just be 1 month. It should be every day. Every day. You guys get every day. You know,
what do you mean?
No, men.
We only have one.
It's men's day, men's week, men's month.
We
day.
only have one.
No.
And that is if you are one Father's Day, that's it.
Let me tell you why I say that. But let me tell you why I say that.
Tell me.
The reason why it's men's day every day is because I think men, obviously men control a lot of this stuff.
True.
And it's an invisible narrative.
Yeah.
So I feel like it, we don't even have to mention it because men are in charge of everything. So it's not even a thing that we talk about. The reason why then we amplify the Women's Day is because men are, running the things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But so for me, I do think that women should be given that recognition because they do the silent labor or the invisible labor that's often not seen. And that's the hardest, raising kids, being the psychologist, being the, you know what I'm saying?
All of those roles in one.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get back to the Denzel Washington conversation. I like the women's one, but I think the Denzel Washington one, yeah. Because I'm seeing it as I'm looking at you, I'm like, Tell them. I'm seeing the role.
Guys.
Especially when you're holding your hand like
yes.
chin, I'm like,
I'm updating my CV.
You better do it quick. Yeah.
But here's a fascinating thing. You're a lawyer by profession.
I am. So I've always wanted to be a lawyer. My dad was actually a judge's registrar.
Oh.
And he'd come back home talking about, all the crazy court cases. And to me, that was the best thing ever. I wanted to, be in that space. And I went to WITS. I actually went to the UK as well and did a master's in law and loved it. But I always felt that there was something missing. And I think about 2021, not 2021, in 2011, I decided to leave the legal space and start my own VFX and animation and content development company. And the reason was because I felt that for me, when I went into law, it was really about changing the lives of other people.
Yes.
We go into it because we believe that that's where you can get a sense of I don't want to say necessarily power, but a sense.
But I get you.
Yeah, you know, a sense of the ability to change things, not only for yourself, but for other people.
Yeah.
So when I was in it, I was in corporate law. There was an emptiness, and it wasn't necessarily the environment itself. I mean, I think it contributed, but I think it wasn't just that. I felt that I was not living my best purpose. And I remember someone, even in the law firm, one of my partners, because, you know, in the legal space, it's very hierarchical.
That's right, yes.
You know, and I remember one of them saying to me, you know, you don't belong here. And I took it very personally. Because,
I could imagine,
Yeah, I took it very personally because I think also those spaces are still also very, white, male dominated.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, what do you mean I don't belong here? And in a way, it also triggered something in terms of, okay, what if it's not a negative thing? What if it's...
I was about to say.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What if it's
But at the moment when it was sad...
No, I really did take it personally because I felt that then who does? Who belongs in these, glassy, 10-story buildings, with these tight, Armani suits and pulling those, bags? Who belongs there if not myself and all the other kids who dreamt of being in this space?
Yeah.
So I was, I then had this wrestling match in myself. But I decided, Tibos, that I actually was going to take the best part of the message, which is you are more than what this space is offering. Did
they explain themselves why they said what they said? Or was it you in your maturity?
Yes.
And you internalizing it and then choosing the positive path?
It was me internalizing it and then choosing a different path because it was a throwaway comment. It was the kind of comment where someone says it as you're talking. And so there was no moment of kind of like further, investigation. Would say, what are you trying to say?
Yes.
And all of that. And because of the hierarchy, I wasn't able to ask the question. I took it in and I was like, okay, what does this mean? Is it because I'm not necessarily, either excelling in the way that they expect?
Yeah.
Or is there something that she's seeing that is, that I'm not seeing? So I started having that conversation with myself. And I think for me, the best interpretation, and I think this is something that I've also learned over the years, is that sometimes you shouldn't take the baggage of other people.
That's right.
So I took the baggage that I needed to deal with, that was about me. And what was about me in that moment was the fact that perhaps I was not living my best purpose. Yeah. And so I went on this journey. I took a whole year. Imagine, Tibos, I had 3 kids. We'd come back with, Umanier, who I was supposed to go and fetch the land from.
Yeah.
I came back with him.
From the UK.
From the UK.
Yes.
He lived in the UK for 10 years.
Okay.
Came back with him with 3 kids, 2 mortgages, 2 cars.
Sure.
And now I'm quitting the legal space. And I'm at home for a year. I'm making bangles. I'm designing clothes. I'm going through this journey of, okay, where is my space? If it's not in the legal space.
I can feel the tension.
Yeah. It was very painful in one way, but it was also therapeutic. And I think even as a couple, you start to ask yourself, what are you doing? Because when we got together, I was a kid that's just, I was in my second year when I met Rob.
Yeah.
And he had just finished.
Hello, Rob.
Hey, Rob.
We know you're listening.
We still want the rest of the land.
Thank
please.
you.
Yes.
Thank you. And not only here, hey, back home too.
All of it. We're coming for it.
That's right.
Okay. So, yeah, and I think also as a couple, and this is the part that I think people don't often see when you're an entrepreneur, when you're a wife, when you're a business person, is that there is a lot of personal push and pull. And we were both now going through this process. Like, but you trained as a lawyer. What are you doing? Why are you sitting at home now? Making bangles and designing clothes. You're a bright woman and you've gotten this far. You even have a master's in law. Why are you making bangles at home? So there's a bit of tension now. And we've got 3 kids. They need to be fed.
That's right.
School fees needs to be paid.
Yes.
And everyone is looking at you like, are you having a mental breakdown? What's going on?
Yeah.
Already.
We can't even say midlife crisis. You're too young for it.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Thank you. I
Done.
appreciate that.
Thank you, guys.
So, yeah. And, but for me, it was about that purpose. It was aligning with your destiny. And so when she made that comment, I feel in some sense, she was saying something that maybe even in her own wisdom, she didn't really quite understand. But for me, I took it and I was like, okay, I'm going to run with it. So in 2024, I started Chocolate Tribe with Rob. It was two of us. And both of us are two kids who don't come. Never mind what people think of Europe. Let me tell you, it's not glitzer and glamour. It's not what you see on Instagram, right?
I normally tell people, you want to see that you are living in Canaan, the land of milk and honey, travel.
So there we were coming out of the UK in a 2-bedroom flat, and we came to South Africa. And South Africa is awesome in the sense that there's space and 3 kids. And I need to figure out, now that I'm making bangles at home, how are we going to make the rent? How are we going to pay for all the other things? Already, when I told my parents that I'm marrying this guy, never mind that he's that was another conversation for another day.
Yeah.
Okay, for another day today, but a bit later.
Yeah, all right. Sharp.
So I'm marrying this guy and they're like, what does he do? I'm like, he's in the creative space. He's an animator. And my mom is like, Ini?
When's my papa?
Didn't even know. And then she kind of said, Haige Sana, my mom is called Haige Sana, you will be the one who's working all your life because this thing. And by Tandudlala, man, it's not something that's going to become something.
Yeah.
So you're going to be the man of the house, basically, right? Yeah. Anyway, we then are going through this journey. I'm having the supposed midlife crisis. And I've left law. I'm no longer a learned friend. I don't have the social status that it comes with. And everybody is kind of like feeling, Shem, is she okay? But in that moment, Tibos, for me, it was incredibly empowering because it was that moment to align myself with my destiny. And then I started Chocolate Tribe. I was very intentional even about naming it Chocolate Tribe. Some people felt some kind of way, would say, what are you trying to say?
Yeah.
But for me, it was really about bringing almost, different people from all walks of life.
Yeah.
Just like in a chocolate box, you've got different flavors. And I wanted to embody all my dreams and aspirations in Chocolate Tribe.
Yeah.
And those dreams were not just about, being a legal person, a logical person. They were about being a creative person.
That's right.
And so I wanted to express that in this,
which is something we don't fully get to express.
Sure.
That there's more than one potential in you.
Absolutely.
And you are on this planet to explore and exploit all of them.
And that's the thing. That's the
right.
thing.
Yeah.
And I think also for me, it's the story of most, Black people, because we are so attached, and not because it's our fault, but also because to some extent we do take that victimhood. We don't stretch our imagination beyond the bread and butter issues.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So for me, what became important, even with Chocolate Tribe, was that, guys, we are so locked in the narrative of, I have to make money to pay my fees and all of those things.
Survivalist.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And can we open up our imaginations? Can we dream bigger? Can we tell stories as well as a continent that talk about, us in a futuristic sense? So we're not only just attached. I think a tradition is very important.
Yes.
It anchors us, right? But what's also really key is for us to look into the bright future and see ourselves as superheroes and see ourselves as intergalactical places. The reason why I think a lot of people tell stories about space is because they can imagine it.
Yes.
They can imagine it.
Yeah.
So when do we have a moment to imagine that?
George Soros, you name them.
That's it. No, not the Sam Altman. The only way that he was able to get OpenAI and all of those things is because he dreamt beyond the realm of the here and now.
The physical, yeah.
The physical. That's it, right? Yeah. He was thinking of like a super sort of supernatural, a world that's bigger than what we see, with our eyes. And for me, I think that is what we need to tap into. And so, even from a sort of like coming from a legal perspective or a legal background, I wanted to go to spaces that, where we're not within the sort of physical, not in a crazy way, of course.
Yeah.
And I feel it's limiting for us to be locked into that narrative. And so it's so important to tell stories that, shoot us to the moon, tell, about spaces that we can only imagine.
But for somebody who doesn't understand what VFX is, what is it?
So VFX is, a film technique that, so the best way I can describe it is, while you and I are sitting and having this interview, let's just suppose a dinosaur drops in.
Yes. Yes.
And if we're watching it on film, how do you...
Thesaurus on the best teeth.
There you go.
Come on.
Gosh, yeah. We are all in words, I feel like going... There you go. So I mean, I think for me, VFX is a way of expressing our bigger and more imaginative self. You know, so technically, it's the process of putting live footage with something unreal, something that doesn't exist. So a dinosaur, for example, we're fresh out of those, what I mean?
Yes.
But it's also the art of invisible. It's called also the invisible art, where if I want to remove something, let's say we are acting and I don't know, your hair goes in a different direction. VFX is also the technique of removing all of those things. Airbrushing it and making it look, seamless and all of it. So, and often there's a joke in VFX where if you're too good at it, people don't even recognize you because they don't know what you did,
Oh.
Yeah. So you're sitting and you're watching something and the film looks beautiful.
Girl, you're playing God. Come on.
No, but don't say that because, hey,
the invisible hand. The invisible hand?
A little bit of that, to be honest. And so where sometimes...
I may be here, not here.
Yeah.
As long as Nosipho is in the building.
There you go. So, am I here? Am I not here? You may not know. Yeah. So VFX is just that it's magical, Tibos. That's really the word I'm looking for. There's something magical about it. And again, to just throw it back to our community. I want our community to feel magical. For the longest time, we've just been anchored in a narrative of, survival and strife and, But can we relax ourselves? Can we...
let our creative power come through, flow.
Just let it come out. Let it come out. And so, for me, that's really what VFX means as a way of expressing.
Give me an example that I think we both seen your work.
So, Inamba Number, Netflix's Inamba Number, we did the hyena. When people look at that hyena, they think it's a real hyena. It's not a real hyena. It's a CG hyena. Took months and months. Hey. Why? I can see your jaw dropping. Pick it up, Tibos.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did one of the most loved ads in South Africa, a chicken licken with Mohano Motusi, the one where he is a science teacher and he creates a robot because he wants to keep eating more chicken licken. So he creates this robot which will do all his boring chores at home, including, being with his wife, So we did that ad with all the, electronics. We actually had him in studio and he was in, those suits where we kind of have to map out his body. We've worked with Boy Kills World, so some of the scenes where, he's in that dream state and So it's an incredible space to be. And I would love,
I can only imagine the mental process, the creative process that you allow. And remember, I've boxed you.
Why have you boxed me? Get me out of that box.
No, lawyer.
Get me out.
How does this mind within those limitations.
True.
Now get out of the box on some, no, there's more to what I can do. Because therefore it means for me, you are now tapping into other hemispheres of your brain.
True.
That were not necessarily formally trained, so to speak. And I'm glad you raised the part about we hang on.
So true.
And the hanging on to tradition and education. And I'm going back to what Brasem Nhlengetwa said, the celebrated artist. He said, learn, don't lean.
Sure. Mic drop. Mic drop. Okay.
We'll be back.
On the street.
On the air.
Nosipho Maketo-van Den Bragt,
Yes.
the CEO and co-founder of Chocolate Tribe, is my guest. I said it to you yesterday, Google Chocolate Tribe and see what they have worked on. You need to see it. And you'll understand how powerful the lady I'm sitting with is in terms of what she's able to do with that one mind.
Oh.
And I think that's the fascination for me with what you've done with Chocolate Tribe. But people don't talk about before the first deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, there's a buzzword in business.
Okay.
Especially when you have an event or you have a concept or you want to, especially events. Anyone with a pocket to support
Sure.
wants proof of concept.
That's true. That's true.
Right? Regardless of who is behind it.
That's true.
Right? And maybe it's the economic times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's the
Yeah,
issue.
yeah.
However, with you, who are you going to? Who said yes first? But before that yes, how many no's? Because even that no, you need to read it differently.
And that's it.
It's not a no, it's a maybe not yet.
Yeah. Look, there were many no's, I can tell you. So I can almost go back to the genesis of Chocolate Tribe. Uguti, the first biggest no was also to oneself, because here I was going through this crisis of identity of being a lawyer now in a creative space.
Yeah.
There was a sense of loss. So the first no was to myself, and I had to, turn that no, that negative, to say, hey, you're not a one-trick pony. You are this multiple, and you have to allow yourself. Tibos, I went through a moment where I was like, am I a flaker? I've worked in the legal space. I've lived in different places. Am I a flaker? Why am I going from one place to another? Why can I not be like everybody else? Because a lot of my friends and even family members have stuck to the career. They started in that career and that's what they did until, they retired or whatever it is, or they're still working in that space.
Yeah.
So the first thing was I felt like I was a flaker. But, and having moved from that, we then, Rob and I traveled to the US, where VFX and animation and content is big, or was big. Things are shifting.
Yeah.
So we traveled there, and people didn't get us. Firstly, they were like, Chocolate Tribe, what is that? Type of thing.
Yeah.
With my very terrible American accent. But anyway, Nizamile, guys.
That's right.
Nizamile. But the thing is, we there were so many doors that were shut. First, we were not from there. People didn't get what we were doing.
Yeah.
We were the new kids on the block. But we felt it was important to fly the flag of South Africa and say, there's creativity going on here. There is, a new school of thought in terms of creating amazing and brilliant VFX and animation.
Yeah.
But we got no's. There was no deal that we made when we went in 2015. So, and our first, the reason why I'm telling you the story is that we were working from home, like downstairs.
Yeah.
And I want to lead up to the first deal.
Yeah.
So there were no's. We went back home. We're sitting in our downstairs extra room, and that's where we're working from, two of us. And we get a call from one of the directors in the UK. Shout out to Kibwe Tavares. And, he's like, I've got this project, doesn't have a lot of money, but I think you guys would be the... And he was also, in a sort of like a career shift.
Yeah.
So he then gives us this project, and we have our first meeting with his lawyers. And they want to know, so what have you guys worked on before? So I said to Rob, you know what? Let's put a whiteboard behind us, because it was a virtual call.
Yes.
We had a whiteboard behind us. And I wrote random names of jobs that we were doing.
Yeah.
We were doing.
Yeah.
Wink.
Yeah.
So put all the jobs behind us. And so they come on the call and we introduce ourselves, and they're like, oh, you guys seem very busy. I'm seeing quite a number, because it's a normal thing in the film industry, you guys look very busy. And we're like, we are very busy, but we're happy to look at your project, asina nix, but like, we're downstairs in our, one of the extra rooms in our house, and And then the guy went on, and eventually at the end of the conversation, he's like, okay, we'd love to work with you guys. I'm like sweating because we have to keep this persona. So I think the moral of the story at that moment was, to some extent, you have to fake it to make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
when it happens, you better back it up.
You better back it up. But you also better have your, as you're saying, your ducks in a row. Because when fortune is favoring the brave, you need to have that muscle. You need to have that energy. You need to have that thing to meet that fortune and that destiny. So that was our first big yes after many no's. And I will tell you, Tibos, that was the gift that kept giving. Even right now, recently, about a month ago, Kibwe came over to South Africa. He lives in Grenada. He's of Caribbean and UK origin. And so he came over and he came to the studio and he's like, I'm really glad that you guys are where you are now. But we feel like he's part of our family. He's part of the Chocolate Tribe family. And he was one of our biggest yeses. And that yes led to the many other yeses. So what I can say is that there will be many no's. You just need the one yes, which then gives birth to the many other yeses.
But that yes, because it gives birth purely because you backed it up.
It's so true.
You showed up.
It's so true. We showed up in every way possible, including the fact that, Uguti, when we decided to move out from and this is again another thing, when we decided to move out of our sort of, I want to say, bedroom or garage, from home to here at Bompas, we've got beautiful offices on the third floor, and a lot of people would have said, Nosipho, with that money that you would have gotten, go and buy shoes, go and buy,
come on, reward yourself.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I decided what was important was to build this thing concretely. And when I mean concretely, I mean in its physical self, but also in its imaginative self.
Yeah.
So we built a place where people can come in and feel like a mad energy of creativity. And so it wasn't just, building for ourselves. It was also building for the future. And it was also not taking the money and using it for... I'm not saying, shout out to people who love shoes. I love shoes and clothes and all of that. But I think what is also important is to make sure, Uguti,
you invest.
You invest. When that yes happens, you invest in the right things, in the right minds, in the right talent, so that your structure is not just a physical structure.
How big is the group now?
We're about 30 of us.
From two people in that downstairs room?
Yes, to 30. And we've got an office in Cape Town.
What? And in Cape Town, how many people?
There are about five people in Cape Town. Yeah. And we're planning to grow Cape Town. It's just that Joburg is, the place where I feel it doesn't get the shine that it ought to, especially when it comes to creativity. So I'll be honest with you, Tibos, I'm investing a lot of my energy here in Joburg, but in Hukuguti, we can do that soon in Cape Town as well. So, yeah.
Somebody wants to say something to you. Listen to this.
Oh, okay.
Morning, Uncle T. Since we are all updating our CVs, I inte no montozo shoot some up behind the scenes lab. Let's say but in all honesty, mostly on CVs about especially for that hyena, number, like it was spot on. I don't like bad CGI. Liana ibonakala ukuthi it's CGI. Props to Nosi and the team.
Even his nickname is Sostombe because he's a photographer. Hence,
Okay.
he sent that voice note.
Big
More
up.
about Chocolate Tribe after this.
On the street.
On the air.
Let me ask a question I always wanted to ask. We still operate from, call it the framework of career guidance.
Okay.
More on ability than passion. What are you able to do behind the desk? How is your brain wired? Therefore, teaching people for industry,
Sure,
right? To
sure,
be employees.
sure.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
like I said, learn, not lean.
Yeah.
Right? And if education is the key to success, how much of it are you using to get out there? The law profession put you in a box.
Sure.
Something was said that rattled you,
Yeah.
but you chose the positive of it.
Absolutely.
But not only that, you defied the box. We have, and you're a woman, by the way, okay?
Last time I checked.
In a very man's world.
True.
You decide to break the boundaries of whatever it is that is formed against you or for you.
Yeah.
2, you are a mother.
Yeah.
And now being a mother, you have this 24/7 worry
Ish.
about the future of your kids, which is the same worry your parents had about
Absolutely.
you.
True.
Right?
True.
You are a partner.
Yeah.
Right? All of these things are sitting in one person.
You.
And this person still wants to reach her potential. And you did say you are also a counselor / psychologist, sales motivator in your house.
True. True.
How do you pivot that?
Yo. I mean, Tibos, I think, let me start first by saying our society grooms us, not just as women, to live in those boxes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The minute you are a highly opinionated woman or a highly ambitious woman,
Yes.
which have been called,
Yes.
then either the B word is used
Yeah.
or, you're ungovernable. She's not the type of woman that you should marry in a sense, or and the sort of like point of reference comes from the men. That's not the kind of woman that you should marry. And I must say,
She wears the pants.
Exactly, and there's a negative connotation to that.
Right.
So that's the woman's side of it. But also coming from our community, as Black people, there are also limitations. If you're the one that succeeded and got out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And out could be out of the hood, out of poverty through education, as you're saying.
That's right.
If you are unable to convert that to the things that people perceive as success, so one, that big house in Sandton, the car, the whatever, then, you are a failure. But I think more so in the sense that you now want to go into a creative space, in a space that is turbulent. It's a space that is not. They call it the gig economy for a reason.
Yeah.
Uguti, you work here and then next month you don't have a job. So why would you give that up? So for me, the box was really constraining, not only because I was a woman, because I was a mother, but also because, as a personality, I am a seeker. I am always searching for something new and interesting, and not in a bad way, because some people are just like, they're not anchored on something. They're always just looking all over the place. But I think for me, it was about being a seeker, and that seeker meant, if it meant I had to come out of the box that I'd been ring-fenced in, I needed to get out. Otherwise, my fullest expression, my fullest potential would not be realized.
Yeah.
And that's also the message that, I share across the board with young people, with women, with anybody who feels that, I'm an accountant, I'm doing and I'm, shout out to accountants who do our
books and all.
Our books and, our bookkeeping and all of that. But if you're locked into that mentality and you can't get out, are you really living your best life as a human being? Because at the end of all of this, that's really what we are searching,
Yeah.
How can I express my best my best self?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
am I going to leave this earth empty?
Empty.
Have I explored all my potentials?
All your options. Am I a box ticker? You know what I mean? And so for me, coming out from the legal space, and I don't feel like, if I'm being honest, I don't feel like I've fully come out of it in the sense that I still do all the legal work for my company and all of that. But what is important is I wanted to be more than just that box, the legal box.
That's right.
I wanted to explore what it means to be, a full human being, expressing every aspect of yourself. And that every aspect of yourself was through this creative, and for other people, it might be something different. You might be a creative thinking, I want to be an accountant. You know what I mean? It might be that way. I don't know. But for me, really, the journey was about how do I, answer all my questions as a human being. How do I create? Are
you proud to have advocated for Nosipho?
Yes. I'm so, like, now, and it's taken me a long time, Tibos, to love myself, because as I mentioned earlier on, I felt like a flaker.
Yeah.
I felt that I'd let my community down by leaving this venerable space.
Gift.
Yes, gift. You're smart. Why are you doing this nonsense? You're making bangles now, and so I'm incredibly, and I hope also my community is proud of me, and big up to the people who believe in what we are doing, who support us, not just our followers but our clients as well, who put money behind all of this. So I am incredibly proud. I'm proud that I've built a company from scratch, from nothing. Thank you. And I've brought in people from my community. So if you come to Chocolate Tribe, our team is a mixture of young people, mainly young people. Actually, when we're doing a kind of survey, they're about 18 under 35s. You know what I mean? Out of 30 plus people. And so I'm very proud of that.
Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you so much. I'm proud that we are telling an African story of excellence, which is another big thing which sits on my shoulders.
I love how you phrased that.
Thank you.
Please say it again.
I love how we're telling a brilliant African story of brilliance and excellence.
Thank you.
And this for me is also important because the way we are framed from a visual perspective is one of poverty, corruption, one of underachieving. And so for me, Chocolate Tribe is more than just a VFX company or an animation company. It's a beacon of light for that kid who's in Soweto or at Davidton who is dreaming about drawing, who is dreaming beyond, Ikota. And they're thinking, I want to one day, create something that is supernatural, that is, that surpasses the sort of day-to-day struggles. And for me, that's really what Chocolate Tribe really is anchored on, that we want to show the world that we can, create amazing stuff and represent ourselves.
There must be other platforms where you share your journey, your story.
Sure.
Because I feel you are a walking autobiography.
Oh, wow.
You're a walking masterclass that our people need to tap into, a fountain of knowledge and wisdom based on your journey that they need to drink from. Is there an event coming soon where maybe it's your event where we can see what you do and even maybe rub shoulders as well?
Thank you so much. So on the 13th and 14th of September, we're holding an event called AVIJOSI. Stands for Animation Visual Effects Interactive in Jozi. Jozi was really important for me again. I feel like it's a love letter to Johannesburg. Johannesburg has got 15 million people who are super creative, have got grit and are hustlers. They make this city. And so for me, AVIJOSI had to happen here in Johannesburg. It's not just an event, it's a movement, And the movement, again, links to what I was saying about an African story that is of excellence, that is of brilliance, that is represented from inside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we will be doing masterclasses, workshops, show and tells in VFX and animation. We've got amazing speakers. So we've got Ubong Ngosi Koza from Marked. We recently worked with him on Marked as the VFX, as one of the VFX team.
Sure.
We've got Ayanda Sitebe, who's one of the, bigger premium.
Sure.
So they're doing masterclasses. We've got Uzikona Sodlaka, who's graciously offered her time to do an 8-hour workshop on the business of film. We've got Leo Silly Pellissier from France, who is the animation director for the animated feature film called Flow. That's just won an Oscar. We have Nosipho Foster, who's a locally grown South African character designer who just recently won an Emmy. And people don't know that we've got all of these treasures here in South Africa. We've got Patrick, sorry.
Yeah.
He will kill me when he hears I called him Paul instead of Patrick. Producer Patrick. Producer Patrick is coming from the US, and he, speaks about the film and television industry and how it's evolving. Please come out, because this is a moment to actually not just rub shoulders with people who are doing amazing things within the film space, but people who are changing the narrative around innovation in Africa. We've got gamers. When we were growing up, we were told that if you're playing games,
we're done.
But businesses are being built on this.
It is.
Yeah.
When and where?
So this is happening at Summer Place, Hyde Park, 69 Melville Road. And it's on the 13th and 14th of September. If you need extra information, please go to @avijosi.com.
Right.
Yeah.
We celebrate you.
Thank you so much.
Keep
I appreciate for, you creating this platform for us to share our story as women, but also as, Africans who are changing this game.
13 to the 14th of September, avijosi.com. That's where you go for more info. That is Nosipho Maketo-van Den Bragt. Rob, we are squared.
We are Zanelobol.
Thank you.
All of it.
We need more.
On the street.
On the air.